is true. Baby, how I need the loving of you. Waiting at the doorstep, finally home. I've been gone for too long. Standing here a while just to take it all in. Radio is playing a song. It is true. If only I could do one thing, I'll be with you. It is true. Baby, how I need the loving of you. Will you still love me? Yes, I'm getting lonely and old. And when you are away, I sometimes shiver and cold. It is hard to define you, that you're worth more than gold. When everything is told. Waiting at the doorstep, finally home. I've been gone for too long. It is true.
We're here just off the marina in Santa Rosalia to this little community park. We walked around and kind of got ourselves orientated last night and a little bit this morning. I think we're going to go try to find one of the big popular hot dog stands here in Rosalia.
All right. Before we get started, a little Santa Rosalia history from our trusty guidebook. Here we go. In the late 1860s, copper was discovered around the area of Santa Rosalia, and within a few years' time, claims were staked and copper was soon being mined. The claims were merged a few years later and formed the El Bolio Company. They originally operated 11 mines in 4 different areas around Santa Rosalia. Soon, wood for construction was being shipped from Canada and Oregon, and plant equipment like rails, rail cars, engines, vehicles, fuel, etc. were being shipped in from Europe. Laborers to work the mines came from Guaymas and Mazatlan, and later during labor disputes and shortages from Japan and China. Breakwaters for a protected port, which is where the marina is now, were completed in 1922 using blocks of slag from the mining process, and an electrical plant was built to run the massive plant operations. By 1910, 366,000 tons of copper had been produced. On February 1st of 1954, Compagnie du Bolio was shut down and the French directors and managers left Baja. The Mexican company, Company Minera de Santa Rosalia, took over before closing the mines once again in April of 1986. A resurgence in metal demand and prices led to reopening of the mine in 2010. Minera y Metalúrgica del Bolio, a consortium of Korean and Canadian companies, currently extracts cobalt, copper, zinc, and manganese from the mines. Today, Santa Rosalia is once again a thriving mining town.
Está algo pasado de moda. No, está perfecto. Es
viaje mágico hacia el Palacio Real, donde el príncipe y sus sueños la esperan.
Here in Santa Rosalia, it's not a tourist town. And it gives you a real, I don't know, is it a Mexican vibe, Rose?
Well, except that it's French.
Well, it's a
Got
French influenced town, but some French architecture. But we like that it's not a coastal tourist town. It's a coastal Mexican town. Oh, smile. We decided to take an early morning walk down the Malecon that has abandoned buildings. I think from the mining era. It's all inside this huge breakwater that you can't anchor in. But I see the top of a couple boats sticking up, or one. So maybe a little sketchy there.
Anchoring at your own risk.
Yeah, exactly. So we wanted to walk way out the breakwater. It's kind of interesting. I think in this whole corner here of the marina, in this area used to be another marina inside the breakwater here until Hurricane Odell, I believe, was in 2014 that decimated this harbor and I think destroyed everything in it.
I don't know what that tower is.
Yeah, we don't know.
Let's see.
All right, don't know quite what this is. Some big, tall, looking like ready to fall over structure.
Significantly heavily built with
Yeah.
timbers from
Clearly from the mining era.
from the
Yeah.
mining area. Yeah. We're at the far corner of the marina. You can see the entrance and Furniture Marina where we are at the far end. And at this end of the marina is like a panga beach where a bunch of folks have tied off their pangas right here next to this tower. And the other thing I think is kind of interesting is there's like lockers here built into the wall. Crazy. Anyway. Some leftover equipment from the mining days. Here's one of the wrecks in the bay. Actually, the biggest one, most visible. I'm going to see if I can get a little closer.
Careful.
Yeah.
That's the no-go anchor.
Oh. So here's this vessel, and I'm not sure if they pulled it up or tied it off or what, but clearly they have it tied off so it can't move anymore.
It's interesting looking at this perspective of the town, because if you look over here, you see all these homes on the hill coming over. The big piles, I think, I forget what those are called, but I think it's stuff out of the mine right here, and it comes over. And then you have this little low area here where the trees are, those palm trees are. And that's the downtown, is in that little lower pocket. And then you come back to the hills going south, and it's all homes on the hills. Looks like mostly homes. But it's interesting that the town is in the little pocket that's very close to sea level. Out here at the marina entrance, breakwater entrance, the little tiny marina over there, and the rest of the harbor.
We're walking along some of the old ruins and equipment left over from the mining days. And it's all accessible, which is kind of cool for curious minds. What's inside, Jim?
It's like big mining equipment and displays and stuff, like kind of a museum structure.
So there's a door over there. Maybe they'll be open later.
Yeah.
It's Monday, so, or lunes.
A lot of things closed on Monday.
Yeah. Sneak peek through a broken window.
South of the marina is more Malecon and a row of restaurants and small businesses. And the harbor entrance.
We're at the museum here in town, and this is the entrance, and we'll head on in. Ooh, very squeaky floor. Here's the church that is now in the middle of downtown. Here's the boss's office. What room is this?
We're going to assume it's the CFO's.
The CFO. Payroll. And that's how you get your pay.
No pay for you.
Here is a chart, a maritime chart from Washington, D.C. for the U.S. Navy made in 1887. And this has the detail of Bahia Concepcion and then Chivato Point, where we anchored out, San Marcos Island we cruised around, and we're up here in Santa Rosalia. And remarkably, I don't think the charts today look very much different. This is a copper ingot, representative of what they were pulling out of the copper mines here early on. All right, we're heading into is it a safe? It looks like a safe.
Yeah.
That's a double locking wall, and it's holding all the records that we're illuminating with phones to show you what it looks like. Look at that. So this building that this museum is in was built in it was believed to be built between 1885 and 1900 by the French, and everything inside is in its original condition, including these fences are original, and it was built with a French architecture. We're going to take a look around. We're inside a large warehouse building where the ore that was mined was brought in on a conveyor belt and then pounded by a Jeffrey hammer, some big hammer thing, and then was refined into the ore they could ship off. Okay, we're getting a tour. We were asking about where the Jeffrey hammer was. So Jose is going to show us.
Jim, so but you say
Jaime.
Jaime.
Jaime. Rosie.
Rosy, me llamo Patricio. Patricio, órale.
Ah,
O yo, un amigo Patricio en La Paz.
What I said.
Ferrocarril, sí, ferrocarril. Un niño, dice tren. No, ferrocarril. No tren, no, pronunciar.
Sí, no, road.
Arroz, no, yeah.
Pronunciación, las ruedas de ferrocarril.
Here's an old conveyor belt.
Pronunciación R, no, R, no.
The floor in here is all steel plates. So this is a chute where the ore comes down in these little buckets here, and they go through little holes that take them down into the oven where they're whatever they do in the oven. And there is a picture of the oven. So we were at the conveyor belts over there, and here are some more ovens, but this is a pretty cool view. We just came down the stairs, and now we're on the underside of the ovens, and you can see they are out of service about 35 years ago and how much they've deteriorated over time. And these are steel beams with the steel floorboard. So here you can see them from the underside. All those steel floorboards we were walking on up above. Here is the conveyor belt that takes things to the top of that building we saw over by the harbor to get loaded into ships.
Exploring a small mine shaft open. It's like a little museum setting with pictures and tools and explanations of how the mining worked here in Santa Rosalia.
We're going to go visit the Santa Barbara Church. This is a church that was designed by Gustav Eiffel for the 1889 World's Fair in Paris and was awarded the first place along with the Eiffel Tower. And it was since dismantled, put on a ship, and sent here to Santa Rosalia, where it was reassembled a few years, within a decade. We were fortunate enough to sit on some benches across the street the other day while we were talking with our kids and heard them on Sunday morning ringing the bells. And this is what they used to ring the bells in the bell tower. Cars go by.
Mm-hmm. Here inside the church, you can clearly see how it was assembled, disassembled, and then reassembled here. It's just square panels with nuts and bolts.
And it's all steel,
and
right?
It's all steel, yeah. Well, I think because it was built for a World's Fair, it was intentionally designed and built to be disassembled and moved. Just got to number all the panels and put them all back together in order. Somehow I think it was a little more complicated, but I would think actually not too bad.
We're working our way up to the head of the dock. They've been preparing for a wedding that was going to take place up here. So all the lights have been added just in the last couple of days. So we'll just kind of stroll through on our way up to town and take a look. Yes. Are we early? How do we go around?
Go around somewhere, I don't know. Go through here.
Yeah.
It's the only way through.
Look how pretty that is. All right. We have the GoPro, so we're trying to do this and actually get everybody in the frame and that sort of thing. It is our last night here in Santa Rosalia. We have been in and out of different restaurants
A lot.
a few times in this town, but we haven't filmed anything because a lot of the times we've been with other people, and you know, that's just awkward and weird and we don't want to do that.
Other cruisers.
But we thought we'd share with you this, our last evening here in town, and we're at a cute little restaurant, and we're gonna get a pizza.
What's the name?
El Mule.
El Mule. We came here for lunch one day, but the pizza oven doesn't turn on until 2 o'clock, so no pizza for lunch. So today we're gonna have a pizza. But the restaurants here have been, I think, overall really nice,
Remarkably good.
really good and inexpensive.
And really reasonable, yeah.
All right,
so
okay.
that's been nice. Oh, drinks are here.
Sorry.
So drinks have arrived. Jim is still eating chips.
We got a Dos Equis and you got a Limonade Mineral.
Yes, one of my new favorites here in town. Lemonade with some soda water, club soda? No, not club soda. Soda water, sparkling water. Anyway, what we were saying about the restaurants in town is that this is a town that has not been touristed.
Is that the right word?
I don't know. Everything
Yeah,
here's
we're
really
the only
reasonable.
gringos. If
Yeah.
you're not on your boat here,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
That's
and
it.
there's only like 12 slips in the marina,
Yeah,
so not
yeah.
a lot of people here. But the marina prices are super reasonable. The food prices in town are super reasonable. So we found it to be a pretty fun spot.
It's been great.
Much more Mexican authentic, if you will.
no, it's been
for
really.
this little French-inspired town.
Yeah. So something about, I want to mention something about, if you come to a place like Santa Rosalia that's not catering to tourists. And you walk around, you know, it's not been really hot while we've been here because it's only the first part of May and it's actually been a little cool. But from, you know, 10 in the morning till 5 in the evening, it can be pretty darn warm out.
Yes, it can.
And a lot of stores are closed and a lot of restaurants are closed. And the streets
Like between 11 and 2,
Two.
or 11 and 4,
four.
something like
And
that.
a lot of the streets seem almost deserted. And then you come out at 8 o'clock at night, every restaurant is open, every small store is open, every clothing store is open.
Yeah.
The streets are packed right out here. It's like stop and go traffic in this tiny little town.
Here, let me show you.
Because everybody is out and about when it's cool in the evening.
And we're, of course, sitting outside in a lovely little restaurant.
Oh, gracias. What's
Getting
this?
all kinds of good
Dressing?
stuff.
Dressing,
Okay.
homemade.
Okay.
It's spicy. It's really, really fried.
Okay.
It's spicy, muy spicy.
Okay,
spicy,
muy
okay.
spicy.
Mucho, mucho.
Okay.
Pepper.
Gracias.
Yeah.
All right.
Gracias.
Thank you. Getting ready for our pizza.
So what is this?
A dressing.
For the pizza or?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Something like that.
I
Anyway,
don't know. I think they put mayonnaise on everything here, but it's just good. I like mayonnaise.
it has worked
Anyway,
for us so
It's
far.
been a great little town to visit. I would really recommend.
If you're in the area,
If you're
definitely
coming to
don't skip
Mexico,
it.
Coming to a town like this just is a wonderful experience, I think. Yeah, we've had a lot of fun here in Santa Rosalia.
Say the magic words.
Apparently I prematurely grabbed 2 pieces out for us, but here's our pepperoni pizza for dinner.
Yep.
I've been craving a pepperoni pizza for some reason, so here you go.
We're having this instead of the shrimp,
Fish tacos
scallop,
or-
lobster pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sacrifices we make.
All right, let's do it.
Go for it.
All right, we've had our grande pizza, 2 beers, and a limonade mineral, and we'll share whatever that costs when we get the bill.
I'm waiting at the doorstep. I'm finally home. I've been gone for too long. Standing here a while just to take it all in. Radio's playing our song. And then you stood there smiling at